welcome back to the Boom Boom Room with Whispers Across America. I am back with my favorite co-host, Mr. Ted Fitzpatrick. And
What is up? What is up?
yeah, how you been doing, Ted?
Good. Looking
Right.
forward to tonight's episode.
Oh yeah. And what is tonight's episode? What state?
California.
For some reason, I hear Tupac playing right now. California. Yeah,
California.
I like picking these though because I don't really read over them that much, and then you kind of you don't know it all, so you're surprised. So
Yeah,
100%. But if you don't have anything to add, without further ado,
let's get into the spooky. Wait, you said nothing. You said nothing further ado.
let me add this before this, guys. If you are enjoying these premieres, please comment after it's a VOD. Let me know what you think. I like feedback. If you're enjoying them, let me know. If you have any suggestions about any videos in the future, let me know too. You know, I love feedback. I love hearing from you, even if it's just a little hand wave. I really enjoy it.
Especially if it's a state that we haven't done yet. So
Yeah.
we're going alphabetically, and we're on C now.
We're on
C-A.
C. All right, Ted. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure, man. Yeah.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's go. Let's go with the most populous state in the union, bro.
All right.
The second largest state geographically.
Yes, it is. All right.
The fourth largest economy in the world.
He loves this state. I don't blame you. I'm torn between Oklahoma and Arkansas. You know, 'cause, we talked about that before. But anyway, all right.
Okay.
You ready?
So California. So who's reading first?
You are. You're my guest.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, here we go. So this first one, spooky folklore from my state, the state of California, is titled "The Dark Watchers of Big Sur." Along the rugged cliffs and misty ridges of California's Big Sur, a mysterious group of figures is said to stand silently, watching. These tall, shadow-like beings are known as the Dark Watchers, a phenomenon that dates back centuries. The Chumash Native Americans, one of California's oldest indigenous tribes, told stories of tall, still spirits who watched from mountaintops. Spanish settlers in the 1700s also spoke of somber figures, silently observing them from a distance. These watchers are described as tall and humanoid, often wearing wide-brimmed hats or cloaks. Always seen in the early morning mist or twilight fog. They're motionless, just standing on the ridge or outcropping, never approaching, and vanishing the moment you try to get closer. Even modern hikers and backpackers report these strange sightings. Some say they see them just after sunrise, standing along a ridge trail, silhouetted against the fog. Others feel a strange heaviness or stillness in the air, like they're being watched. John Steinbeck himself, raised in Salinas, wrote briefly about the Dark Watchers, saying locals accepted them quietly, almost respectfully. They weren't feared exactly, but they weren't to be disturbed. No one knows what they are. Spirits, shadows, guardians of something long forgotten. One thing's for certain. If you're hiking the cliffs of Big Sur and you notice someone or something standing too still, too silent, too far away to see clearly, don't wave. Don't call out. Just keep walking. They're not meant to be seen up close.
Wow. That is really spooky, dude, for real.
I mean, that's a whole other type of spooky. I mean, it's one thing to think about a creature that screams and chases you through the forest and tears up your tent and all, but just something coming out of the fog, the
yeah.
mist, and it's a dark figure, totally silent,
Yeah.
giving you the giving you the silent treatment.
That's bad when you get to that's a whole new level of evil right there.
Like, what you and they'd be like, what's your problem, bro? What's your problem?
He just staring at you. I can imagine they look like children from the corn, Malachi, standing on the ridge.
Yeah.
Or
it's yeah. I mean, I've hiked Big Sur. I didn't even know about this
really?
story. Yeah, thinking back to that hike, man, I'm glad that I'm glad we got it ended before sunset.
Wow, dude, that reminds me like the dude from what is it called? Poltergeist. And the second one, that old man with the hat, spooky old man.
Oh yeah. Well, what's weird about it is that the indigenous tribes, which California had many different indigenous tribes, they actually had, I don't know, something like 20 different indigenous languages. Yeah. And the Chumash, but they told stories of tall spirits who watched from mountaintops. And then, so it seems like back in the day, they were farther away. And then when more Europeans came to California, then, they got closer.
Yeah.
And they were in European garb,
Yeah.
the wide brimmed hats and such, kind of reflecting the dress, or I guess you would say the dress of the culture that was, is what experiencing them, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's kind of like they reflect something about the person that encounters them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
That is man, that's spooky. Do you think that they made that up, the indigenous tribes, or do you think that was probably, I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I think the indigenous tribes, they had various beliefs and such, but
Yeah.
a lot of their beliefs were rooted, their more spiritual beliefs were rooted in nature.
Yeah.
And, then they would have, various gods and goddesses but these gods and goddesses were always tied to a natural entity in some sense, a spirit of the water, a spirit of the, of this particular animal.
Yeah.
And so, in that sense, in terms of their belief system or their storytelling, these, if nothing else, I mean, they would have had to make up the words to pass it down,
Yeah.
and but I mean, we got some tall trees in California, man. We got some of the tallest trees in the world.
Oh yeah, the redwoods. My dad had a picture of was it Big Ben or something? What was the name of the tallest tree? Sherman, General Sherman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he would go skiing out there, California, and he would when he was in the Navy, Yeah, I got some pictures of him skiing. I had some pictures, but I don't have any more by General Sherman. You do have some tall trees, man. It is wow. I'd
And,
love
and
to see them.
and I think it's kind of like it wouldn't be too. I mean, that sense of awe of nature and creation.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel that when you're by those trees and seeing those trees, and I mean, it wouldn't be too far of a stretch to extend that to some sort of spirit
Oh
that,
yeah.
that's on the top of these mountains. And
Yeah, I agree. I've always been fascinated how indigenous and Native Americans, their beliefs, and I don't believe the way they believe in their religion, but it's fascinating, how some of their stuff is respectful to nature and a lot of stuff. I really respect that, but. It's but yeah, that would be a spooky ass deal, man, to see. Hiking and stuff. I'm telling you, man, lately in the last year or two, man, I don't know if I'd go out in the woods by myself. I used to go out there all the time. Back 10, 12 years ago, I had a little ATV and I'd go in the woods back where I lived. Just go out there, just turn it off and just listen, And man, dude, I don't know if I do it now. All these things are it's about crazy.
Especially what's the last state in the list? Is it Vermont?
No, Wyoming.
Wait. Yeah, STUVW.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Wyoming. Yeah, Wyoming. Yeah. So especially when we get to Wyoming, man, then I'm gonna be too freaked out to go camping.
Yeah. Walk out my door. I'll be like those people don't want to leave. All pale, look like a vampire, and
it's hugging Molly.
It's hugging Molly.
It's the white thing. No, the silent watcher.
Yeah, you'll be freaking out. Wow. All right, if you don't have anything to add, I guess I'll read mine.
Let's hear it.
All right. The Ghost of Queen Mary, Long Beach, California. Docked in the harbor of Long Beach sits one of the most haunted ships in the world, the RMS Queen Mary. The Grand Ocean Liner once carried passengers across the Atlantic in the 1930s, served as a troop transport in World War II, and now rests permanently as a hotel and museum. But many believe the Queen Mary never stopped moving, at least not spiritually. Visitors and employees report dozens of spirits haunting its narrow halls, creaking decks, and cold engine rooms. A young woman in 1930s attire seen dancing alone in the ship's now empty ballroom. A little girl named Jackie, believed to have drowned in the second-class pool, still heard laughing and splashing where water hasn't touched the floor in decades. The Gray Ghost, a towering, and not the Gray Ghost, our friend Gray Ghost from Maine, a towering figure in military garb who marches silently near the bow, where the ship once accidentally crushed another vessel during wartime. But the most terrifying is what some call the thing in the engine room. A dark presence where a young crewman was crushed to death by door 13. People feel cold fingers on their shoulders, and some say hear the voice whispers, "Run." The Queen Mary now offers haunted tours, but many leave before they're done because some doors don't stay closed and some voices don't want to be ignored. So, did you know about Queen Mary?
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, I knew.
Really?
It's yeah. I mean, I guess if you live in California, it's pretty famous for being it's for haunted.
Really?
And in fact, I think they hire people to live on it. They live aboard it full time
Yeah.
to tend to the hotel. You know, like on
Ah.
the and especially in like the off season, they will you know, I think
Yeah.
I think they do hire people to live about and I've seen interviews where these people talk about these strange
Uh-huh.
encounters and places on the boat or not boat ship where they just won't go. I mean,
Yeah.
there's certain decks and certain sections where, like, if they're familiar with. I've never actually been on the ship myself. I've seen it
Yeah.
from a distance. It's in Long Beach, which is that is a shipping harbor. There's a lot of different. There's commercial ships that come in. There's also close by. There's a lot of personal ships and boats and such. But it was made by Cunard. Same
Uh-huh.
same like the Titanic. You
Really?
know. Uh,
Did not
yep.
know that.
And but I think that I don't know, the ships of that age, because it was made in the
Uh-huh.
30s, man. It just seems so creepy. And
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I didn't even know about some of those deaths that you read about, though. I mean, I guess
Really?
it would have, like that guy getting crushed by the door, in the engine room.
Yeah.
Man, whoo. Uh, I mean, I don't know. I was thinking when I was listening to the story, I was thinking that these Cunard, being the same maker as the Titanic and such, that like um, mm, some of the spirit of the Titanic rubbed off on the Queen
Yeah.
Mary. I don't know,
Yeah, it might have did. Not interrupting you or nothing. I want to continue talking about it, but I sent you that one, and I'll let you read that one next when we're done talking about this, and then I'll read that other one because I think that
Okay.
the last one that you're gonna
All right.
read. But that would be scary, dude. There's a submarine on the way here out in Oklahoma, and I guess they put it down the Arkansas River and just docked it, and people could go on it. And I went on a submarine, and that is so spooky. I would freak out, man. There's no way. Let me tell you that I could be inside a freaking submarine and down in the ocean. I'd have to either stay drunk or I'd have to have a bunch of Xanaxes or something. Because let me tell you this, dude, for real. I went to get an MRI, and I was in there for like 2 minutes. I started screaming, "Get me out of there!" Because when I woke up, wow.
Yeah. I mean, those ships, if you think about those ships, man, it's like they have probably 7 stories.
Yeah.
And probably, I mean, and then they have these long, narrow corridors, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine being in one of those corridors when, like, the lights went out?
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Dude, it would be
It'd
so
be like,
dark. That's my worst. I got 2 fears in life, dude. Is water and being enclosed. I'm claustrophobic bad. Yeah.
And I'll bet. I mean, it's almost 100 years old now.
Yeah.
And I'll bet as the ocean, gently kind of moves in and moves it around.
Yeah.
I bet there's all sorts of creaking and groaning that the ship does, just moving around,
Yeah. Well, this apartment, I don't ever hear stuff like that. But when I lived in a mobile home, I remember when I was a teenager before, I got married, I lived with my mom and dad, and I remember that thing would creak for some reason, always like it was moving. It would scare you, man. Them little creaks and moans. I imagine an old house is like that too, settling
Yeah.
and stuff. Man,
Yeah.
that is spooky. I'm not kidding with you. But yeah, I wouldn't mind if I was in Cali and close by. That'd be cool to go check that out. I think I would really, really enjoy, going to that place.
Yeah, and
seeing
now
it.
that's in Southern California. It's by
Yeah,
Los Angeles. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I figured is
But
close to
but
LA.
the but this next one is actually kind of close. Somewhat couple hours away from where I live. In
Yeah,
Northern California.
yeah. That last one that I sent you,
Yep.
just a minute ago, I figured that'd be more interesting because I know probably a lot of people's heard it. It's famous, but the story behind it, which I don't want to get ahead of myself. But if you don't have anything to, to add, I'll read my last one.
Wait a second. I thought isn't it my turn?
You just read. Did I read the ghost, or did you read the? I got totally. Okay, I'm sorry. It is your turn. I need another coffee. Yeah, it's your turn. Sorry.
Okay. So this next one, yeah, like I said, a couple hours away. The Winchester Mystery House, built by spirits. In San Jose, California, there stands a mansion like no other in America. A labyrinth of staircases that lead to nowhere, doors that open into brick walls, and windows that overlook other rooms. This is the infamous Winchester Mystery House, and it was built under the direction of ghosts. The story begins in the late 1800s with Sarah Winchester and Sam and Dean, her sons. Oh, no. Just kidding. Are you still there? Ashes. The sound. I don't know what the
I'm still here. I'm still here.
The story begins in the late 1800s with Sarah Winchester, heiress to the massive Winchester rifle fortune. After the sudden deaths of her infant daughter and her husband, Sarah was shattered. A spiritualist told her she was cursed, haunted by the spirits of all those who were killed by a Winchester rifle. There was only one way to escape these haunting spirits, the spiritualist told her. You must move west. You must buy a house. You must never stop building. Sarah bought an unfinished farmhouse in San Jose. And for the next 38 years, construction never ceased. Day and night, teams of workers added staircases, hallways, secret doors, and hidden passages, all based on Sarah's instructions, which she said came from the spirits themselves during seances held in the Blue Room at midnight. Some features of the house include a staircase that rises 7 steps, then descends 11 steps, going nowhere. Doors that open into 2-story drops. 13 paned windows, 13-step stairways, and chandeliers with 13 handles. And a room with no entrance believed to trap angry spirits. Today, visitors and employees report unexplained footsteps, cold drafts, doorknobs turning on their own, and even the sound of a woman sobbing. One apparition, often called the worker, has been seen pushing a wheelbarrow in the basement before vanishing into a wall. The strangest part There's no official blueprint of the Winchester Mystery House. Sarah destroyed them all. Some believe she was trying to confuse the spirits, trap them in their maze-like home. Others believe she was slowly going mad. But one thing is clear. Sarah never stopped building, not until the day she died. And even now, some say the hammering hasn't stopped. If you stand in the house alone, in the stillness, you can still hear footsteps echoing above you in rooms that don't exist.
Man, I tell you, I'll give that one to you because it was so long. I wanted to hear your sweet voice. No, just kidding. And sorry, I did laugh. I was just in the restroom when you, that was bad timing on your joke.
Who's hosting this show, man?
Phoebe is.
We gotta give you some depends for these shows.
Something, dude. Yeah, I was taking a leak, and then you had to drop a joke. And I couldn't laugh in the restroom, you know. So
and yeah,
I
because
kind of felt bad, so I had to point.
And you
that
told
out.
me, and you told me, and then you told me, let me know if the sound goes out. So I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I felt bad when you dropped your joke. And then that happened. At first, for a split second, I said, maybe your sons were Sam and Dean, and that was, they got that. That's why, he wrote that in the series because of that. No, but this place has always fascinated me, man, because I used to really be into firearms, and then I remember in early 2000 watching, because the YouTube wasn't a thing, and I was on Discovery Channel, and it was like every Halloween I'd watch these spooky things, and it came on, and it totally fascinated me, and I've watched 2 or 3 videos, man. Have you ever been to it?
Man, I've driven past it.
Wow.
Because I've been to San Jose just a handful of times.
Yeah.
But I haven't taken the tour yet, man. I don't know. I might get too afraid to take a tour, man.
Man, I'm telling you, that's well, I've seen videos, and I think, me personally, what happened is he probably just had mental problems. And I think I really think a psychic was probably just bleeding her for money, and got her thinking that she had to do that because she'd always go back to the psychic, I think, and was probably just, leading her on. But the place is, wow, crazy, man. The way it's set up, it is.
I mean, the artist MC Escher. Makes all the artwork with like the crazy staircases. It makes me think about that artwork when I see pictures of the inside of this place where it would almost be confusing to a real life person, let alone a ghost. I bet if they led you blindfolded into the middle of the mansion and said find your way out, I bet it would take 3 hours just to find your way out.
Yep.
Because you open a door, it's like, no, I can't go that way, man. It's like 2 stories down.
Well, she probably felt guilt too because her husband, inventing the Winchester rifle, and it did take a lot of lives, war and everything, and the Wild West. So I think that that was part of it, guilt. And which it wasn't her, and all that money, but
all that money just keep on spending.
But I have seen videos, and people worked there, and people took the tour, has seen some paranormal stuff for real in there. So And they didn't. They looked like they were genuine, and they weren't actors either. The ones that I've seen. But
Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
what's with the 13? The number 13 came up a lot. Like, stairways with 13 steps, windows with 13 panes, and it's
well, I know, like I know some Wiccans, and that was like a special number, and it's in their type beliefs. I'm
mm-hmm,
thinking like it's like something to do with luck and stuff like
mm-hmm.
that. But I've known a couple Wiccans, and they would always say you gotta have a special number, and I don't really know.
And wasn't Judas Iscariot. He was the 13th apostle, right?
No, they only had 12 apostles. Mm-mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Oh, they only had 12. But
Oh,
yeah, there was 12
oh,
apostles.
12 apostles. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. No, the painting. Oh, that's right. It was in the painting, the Last Supper painting.
The
I
last
guess
supper. It'd be 13 counting Jesus.
counting Jesus. Yeah, so he was the 13th. Yeah. At the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the table.
And they don't, I mean, like a lot of times in big buildings with elevators, they don't put a button for 13. They just skip
No.
13.
No, I've seen that. A lot of people, you got it two ways. A lot of people think it's lucky, and then a lot of people think it's, bad luck. So, like,
Must be
mystics.
like mystic, like a mystical, like she was embedding the number 13 in this place to be like a mystical magnet for spirits. It was maybe it somehow attracts the spirits and then she traps them.
Well, I actually think, though, with her consulting with mediums and stuff like that, that that might have brought some bad spirits there for real to haunt her, and some demonic presence, messing with the spirit world like that. That's my opinion. I'm not stepping on anybody's toes that's a medium watching this, or I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but yeah, I think that when you play around with spiritual stuff, it bites back.
Yeah, I mean, all of the mediums that I've ever, seen, they always, I mean, they know they're messing, and the smart ones usually start with a prayer to, a prayer of protection and a statement of, any spirits that we interact with, you are not invited to. You are not invited along with us,
Yeah.
And
I mean, you got to go two ways there, though. You got the mediums, how they believe, and then you got someone like me. The way my belief is, you're not supposed to mess with it at all. Because that's like, saying, like you tell a child, don't go over there and, put your hand in that fire. And then you say, protect me, Daddy, and to put your hands in the fire. You're messing with fire, you should mess with it in the first place. And it's kind of like, I told you not to mess with it, So,
oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain, but yeah, that, I believe she probably was haunted by something. Was it demonic? Was it actually ghosts? Because she was messing with the spirit world. You should be playing with fire, you're gonna get burnt, and he probably was tormenting her and did drive her insane, and she probably did think that. I wonder what happened to all her money.
That's a good question.
Yeah, the drywall guy got it.
She probably, she supported that local economy for 38 years, though.
I forgot how much money she spent. It was a lot compared to money these days,
Dang. Yeah. That would be well, wasn't there that movie 13 Ghosts, 13 Ghosts? It kind of makes me think of that place too,
Yeah.
Where it's like this crazy house with all these moving walls and traps and stuff.
Well, Sorry for eating. I had to eat because of my sugar. But I'm gonna Google how much it was. How much? Let's see. I'm not a fast. Let's see.
Because it's fancy. I mean,
Oh,
from
yeah,
what I've
beautiful
seen,
place, man. Okay.
I mean, they carved.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just gonna say. I mean, yeah, they carved. I mean, it was like a Victorian style, right? So they carved all this fancy filigree
Yeah.
and everything made out of handcrafted wood. So, I mean,
It
and
took
you're
a
talking
long
chandeliers.
time. Man, it is absolutely beautiful. I seen somebody on Facebook that I was friends with go there, and they was at all over the place. I mean, it is beautiful. But from 1884 to 1922, that's how long they spent on it. But it cost her $5 million in 1923. That's 71 million in today's dollars. Damn, that's a lot of money, dude.
Man.
That is a lot of freaking money for real.
I mean, wow, that's wild, dude. It's like she was trying to, kind of like rebalance the scales from all the destruction from the weapons manufacturer, and then she's trying to be she was just like being creative,
Yeah.
in the only way she could, but
Yeah. I mean, why didn't she just? So she was basically making it a maze so the ghosts couldn't find her, or
I think she was haunted by the ghosts, and then it was a maze to. I think that number 13 like was meant to be like a magnet for these spirits. And there is, and then just making it confusing as heck to where maybe they get stuck,
yeah,
and they get trapped. So I mean, that place is probably full, man.
yeah, probably is full of ghosts, man. That place does look wicked, dude, for real. That place does look wicked. All right, I guess if you don't have anything else to add, and it is my turn this time. Okay. The Lone Pine Mountain Devil, California's winged terror. In the shadow of the Sierra Nevadas, near the quiet town of Lone Pine, there's a legend whispered only by those who've spent time alone in the high desert. A story about a creature so vile, so terrifying, it's said to be a demonic relic from a forgotten age. They call it the Lone Pine Mountain Devil. The creature is described roughly the size of a large dog or a mountain lion, with the leathery bat-like wings, a twisted fanged mouth, and eyes hot coals glowing red in the dark. Old Spanish missionaries passing through the Sierra trails in the 1800s wrote about travelers found torn apart, bones picked clean, their eyes gouged out. They warned settlers to stay away from the high mountain passes at night. Some believed it was punishment of disturbing the sacred land. Others claimed it only appeared during holy times gone wrong, like when the moon turned red or animals vanished without a sound. Modern sightings are rare but chilling. Campers report hearing a piercing screech, like any bird or mammal, just before their fires blow out and their tents collapse. Hikers have found entire families of coyotes gutted with no footprints nearby. One photographer claimed to have caught it mid-flight near Mount Whitney, but his camera was found smashed and he was never seen again. Locals say if you're hiking the eastern Sierras and the forest suddenly goes dead silent, like even the wind has stopped, don't look up. Don't move. And whatever you do, don't run. Because once the mountain devil sees you, it doesn't stop. Wow. That you know, them Sierras is a lot of cryptics I've heard come out of the Sierra, you know.
Oh yeah, man. I mean,
And
that
Mount
high.
Whitney. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those high Sierras. That whole range there. You should see it at sunset.
Yeah.
It is spectacular, man.
Really?
The whole because these things they're kind of like a tan color, and
Yeah.
that when the sun hits them, it looks like they're made out of gold. You know,
Wow.
it's beautiful. It's
I
beautiful.
bet it is, man. I bet it really is.
And I had some relatives who kind of lived up there, and they had a in their backyard was desert, but they had a wagon from the pioneer days, man, that was there since the pioneer days, and this wagon just sitting back there, and it was it was falling apart and all, but
Yeah.
a lot of history
Wow.
in that area, and a lot of there's some weird animals up that way too, man. There's some I wouldn't doubt that there are some creatures that we do not know of.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I do believe that there's a lot of creatures. I was just looking it up, and Mr. Ballin got a bunch of videos on the Lone Pine Mountain Devil. Yeah, so it's pretty popular, you know, if he, you know, talked about it. But it's multi-winged creature with razor like talons and multiple layers of deadly venomous fangs. And like the pics of it, it's wow, I don't know. It's just so many, kind of like a bat. It's kind of like a bird, you know. I don't know. I guess nobody really, you know, totally knows. I mean, it could be a made-up story, but like I said, that Mount Whitney, if you look it up, there's a lot of stuff that they've said they've even seen giants from a distance in Mount Whitney. A lot of paranormal stuff happens there, and it's pretty weird up there.
Yeah, it's interesting about the description of that creature where it's almost like that medieval artist Hieronymus Bosch and the paintings that he made of what devils would look like and creatures from hell. And honestly, man, it really sounds like the types of creatures that he painted.
Yeah.
And multiple layers of deadly venomous fangs.
There's a lot of creatures. There could be something, dude. I think there's a lot of species that survived over thousands of years, and that we hardly see. 'Cause there's a lot of areas we haven't explored, man. Come on, you know.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was just trying to think of venomous. I mean, because we have rattlesnakes out here that are venomous, and then in the desert they got the Gila monster, where I think the Gila monster doesn't produce its own venom, but I think it has like a type of bacteria that grows in its mouth that is like, if it bites you and you get an infection, that it can be deadly.
Oh,
because
really?
of this type of the type of bacteria. So, I mean, this creature that that would have these rows, that's like a shark, honestly.
Man,
reminds me of a shark, the way the shark teeth grow.
You know, that is what's spooky about, like, I've watched about these cryptic boots on the ground people, you know, researchers. They say a lot of times when they're out in the woods looking, they never look up. People never think to look up high in the trees, you know, because there's going to be some creatures, you know, up high. That's where I'd hide, way up, you know, like monkeys or something.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
And you know, Lone Pine is right on the border of
where?
Death Death Valley.
Oh, that place is interesting, Death Valley, man.
Yeah.
It really is. That's a whole spooky tale in itself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yep.
really is.
Yeah, we got a couple years ago, we got a text from my older brother, and he just wanted to let us know that he was driving through Death Valley, and he said it was, I think he said it was like 125 degrees Fahrenheit outside.
Yeah.
That's what his car said. 125.
Jeez, man. I've felt like 105 with the index, you know, humidity, but man, dude, I could not imagine that heat.
The desert, the desert gets really hot in the day, and then it gets really cold at night.
Yeah. Whoops, sorry.
All the effects presented in this.
Sorry about that. I hit something. How do I stop?
Oh,
this? Sorry.
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay. But you could, man, dude, though, that heat, how in the world?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Well, there's probably a reason that creature spends its time in the trees, man. The shade.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
It's like,
man, it sounds like man don't even want to go out, outside with all these creatures. I mean, could you imagine being that scared though? I mean,
well, the most famous Bigfoot film ever captured, the Patterson Gimlin. That was they filmed that in Northern California.
Yep.
And
that have you actually really watched that?
I mean, I watched it tons of times, but I didn't pick it apart. You know what I mean?
I've watched it from like I think 5 or 6 different people, and there's this one where a guy really enhanced it and slowed it down. And there's no way, man, that somebody could do that in a suit back then. Nobody had the technology to build a suit. They tried to debunk it, and when you look at it and actually see the calf muscles, and the muscles move, and the way it walks, and then you see the breast and everything in the face. I mean,
it's too natural. Too natural.
Too natural, dude. There's, I think that, people call me crazy, whatever. I believe that's 100% big. That's a Bigfoot. 100%. And, that's actually a Bigfoot. I seen a guy go to the exact spot, and show. I've seen a film with that. But, yeah, I've watched it. Nobody can debunk it, and because, they back then, they had what's Planet of the Apes, if they could make suits like that, they would have made one, for the film. They had it. There's no way they could make it. But there's a lot of videos, now there's AI, you can make and things. But if you got any kind of rational thinking and you watch that film and deep dive, you'll know that's the real thing. And that's kind of spooky. That is kind of spooky. A lot of people say that she was kind of leading people away from maybe you're young or, different groups. There's no telling how they think. They got to be smart. They hide so good. How could something hide that big, dude? How in the world? You ever think about that?
They just go find one of these hollow redwood trees, man. I bet they all live in I think they all live in redwood trees.
Probably. A lot of people think that they live underground, caves or something. I don't know, but there's so much woods and and people that seen sightings say they're so fast, so they could travel probably long distances pretty quick. I don't know. It's fascinating. No, it really is. It's fascinating. But
Yeah, dude. So the major city near where I live is named Sacramento. It's the capital of
Yeah.
California. And so they used to give ghost tours. They'll probably pick it up again. But back in the day, we have a major river called the Sacramento River.
Yeah.
And back in the gold rush days, the whole of Sacramento, how big it was built on the level of the river. Well, the river flooded one year, so they decided, well, we're gonna raise the height of the whole entire city
Yeah.
by one story. So
Wow.
all the existing buildings back then, all these gold rush era buildings, they just built on top of that. They raised all of the streets. So what they did was they built these columns out of brick
Yeah.
to support the weight of the new street level, right? Well, what that created was it created this labyrinth of underground tunnels under the whole city.
Wow.
Yeah. And so there's still people to this day where they'll be excavating down there and they'll find artifacts from the gold rush era. And just there's certain parts of it that are falling apart and are unsafe.
Yeah.
But they used to give ghost tours of that of the underground tunnels. But
Man, that's wild, dude. That's like thinking about the Shanghai. I watched the deal in Oregon and the bars and stuff. That Shanghai people and kidnap them and then make them work on a ship. That was wild. That was scary, man. Could you imagine back then the lawlessness and?
Oh yeah. I mean, and over the years, I mean, I think about those tunnels under Sacramento where, I mean, there's probably all sorts of stuff that went down in those tunnels, and there's probably there's probably some ghosts down there for sure. I gotta get on a ghost. I gotta take one of those ghost tours sometime.
Oh yeah, man.
Go down in the tunnels with a candle.
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, I heard there's the lizard people and stuff down in them tunnels. I've heard. I know. I watched a deal on a guy. He was from New Orleans back in the '80s, and he moved down there from Nebraska. He was a black guy, and he was moved down there, and I guess he liked the culture. And he wanted to work, and his aunt. And he was going to meet this girl. I'll tell the story real quick. I know you probably got stuff to do, but
no, dude, no.
Anyway, he ended up. He's been on a lot of talk shows. I won't mention his name or nothing like that. But anyway, long story short, he moved down there. Actually helped his aunt move down to New Orleans. It was like 82, 83. He liked it, so he got a job working at a clothing shop. She said this beautiful lady come in, beautiful, black woman. And he was explaining how pretty she was. She had a gold earring in it. Well, he's supposed to meet her at, I think it was like 9 o'clock, or 7 o'clock that evening to meet you at the park. So he parked his car, and then he, it was summertime. He went to the park. He had flowers, he's gonna meet her and all this. And she's really beautiful. Well, there was 3 other guys there, and when 3 other guys there, they was playing basketball. She never showed. So even though he was dressed up, he said he was in sandals and shorts, but dressed up. He ended up playing basketball. Well, it was like 11 o'clock, and he wanted to go to the liquor store and get some beer. At first he was like, reluctant, meeting somebody new. You didn't know if they was going to rob him or whatever. And he went all through the motions with that, but he ended up kind of trusting the guys. So this is down in New Orleans, not far from downtown, which is at this park. So they're going to a liquor store, and liquor store was not far, not too far, but they'd take the railroad tracks.
Mhm.
So he's walking. There was a guy in front of him, the two behind him. When he's walking to the liquor store on railroad tracks, he said they had these tall, like cattails or something to the left. It was real tall grass. He said, out of nowhere, he hears somebody scream. He runs up, and he said about 20, 25 feet. There is a freaking werewolf on top of his friend that he just met.
Dang.
Yeah, and he explained it, and when you hear these dog man attacks, there's different ones they say they look like, but most of them look like a German Shepherd face, pointy ears, like fur, and then some of them are real muscular, and they got hands and feet kind of like a human, but they're and they got haunches on their back legs. Anyway, we looked at him, and he said, yeah, he was scared. He was scared. And he said that it had a gold earring in its ear.
Whoa.
Yeah. And, but he told the story, and his friend never recovered. And his friend never recovered. The one, they took him back. His mom thought they done, drugged him up. And, he was, he tells the greatest story. He tells how the one that he never did get really hurt or nothing. The dude, it did jump on him, and just kind of stare at him. Said when it looked at him, it had intelligence in its eyes, and it was looking at him, smiling like, I could kill you or whatever. So the dude, years later, the dude that he attacked or jumped on top of, fixing to have a kid, he explained that before the attack, and he ended up having a heart attack like 6-7 years later because it haunted him, that attack or whatever, because he said he was in shock for like an hour or two after that. And he talked to his son later on, and his son blames him for his dad's death, thinking that they drugged him up, and he tried to tell the son years later that, what happened was true. I guess he thought he was crazy. And anyway, he was scared the rest of his life, but he was scared for like a year or two really bad, wouldn't come out, but eventually got over it. And I don't think he ever had any more sightings, but I'll tell this right here. He's got a Facebook group, and he's been putting pictures on there. And how you see pictures are blurry and stuff. Well, this is a lady that lives in Arkansas, and supposedly she's got a bunch of dog men that live around her place. Just got puppies and all. And she takes pictures of them. I've seen a few pictures, and some of them are pretty clear, dude. They'll blow you away. But this is an older black lady. No reason for her to lie, Yeah. And he posts the pictures, and I think probably about 6 out of 10 pictures are pretty clear. Some of them are blurry, but you can tell what it is, and you see dog men in them. It'll blow you away, the pics, because a lot of them are fake, man. A lot of them are fake. But you imagine a dog man living out in the woods close by your place, man, the whole time? That would just freak me out.
A skunk's bad enough, man. I don't need dog, man.
A freaking skunk. But I mean, what's your opinion on that? Do you think dog men exist? If you do you think it's like military made, government, or?
I mean, I would say that I would say if a dog man exists, it's I mean, anything's possible,
Yeah.
Now
I don't think they're werewolves at all. I don't think that they're actually men turned into, But but let me tell you this: he had this. He never seen that girl again. She stood him up, and he thinks that was her. He thinks that was a werewolf and that was her because they had, because of the culture down there and the voodoo and all that stuff like that. Yeah. So I don't believe there's werewolves. I just think that there's some kind of dog men. Now, I think they're supernatural and evil beings. I really do. I don't want to see one. I'd have a heart attack. I'd just be honest with you, man. If I'd actually see a real life looking werewolf in real life, I would have a heart attack. I mean, 100%.
Yeah, man. But, yeah, I mean, I think, but it's kind of goes back to also what you were expressing about messing with dark forces, and you almost, I think that our mind and spirit can, if we devote energies to something, we can cause, the universe to generate some of this stuff. And it's kind of like, I mean, so it's kind of like, well, yeah, you could think about the boogeyman under the bed, but don't think about it too long.
No, because, you will, I think you do conjure stuff up in your mind. I really believe that because you keep messing with the bad things, That's just like, I believe, that if you treat people good, I mean, there bad things happen to good people, but I do believe it all comes out in the wash, and if you do right, that you'll be blessed for it, Yeah, I do believe that. Some people believe in karma, energy, aura, and all that. I just believe it's a blessing from God. I really do that. So I don't think you should do evil and mess with evil stuff because the outcome's not going to be cool, man, at all. At all. I know people that played with Ouija boards and bad stuff happened. Until you gotta choose to put out good energy to get the good energy.
There you go.
That's 100% right. You're right, dude.
It's true.
But I'm not stepping on anybody's toes that or bad mouth anybody playing Ouija boards. I wouldn't play with one, at all. But because I know some, people that's messing with it ain't been cool. The outcomes and stuff. So. But anyway, Ted, if there's anything else that you want to add before I end it.
No, man, it's California. I mean, yeah, dude, there's some definitely spooky stuff.
Oh, man,
in this state, and there's a lot more than what we covered, man. I mean, I could think of several things, but this was just a taste. Just a taste. It's a big state. Man.
Yeah, you never know. We might do a longer video or a live or something sometimes, and talk about Cali again. Get on one subject. There's a lot that I want to do for this channel. There's a lot because you can talk about a year about California. There's a lot of stuff that we can cover, and I look forward to it. Maybe one day doing a live or something. So I think that would be cool.
Oh yeah, man.
I know you're busy and stuff, but maybe one day we can do
it. What is the next state in?
It is Colorado.
Oh, sure, snap, dude. That place. I'm sure that place has a lot of good stories too, man.
Oh man, you know that. There's a Connecticut. I know that. I don't know if A Cup wanted to do the one. What's the one's got a lot of military? Civil
War stuff.
Yeah.
Any place back east, man. West Virginia. Yeah, Virginia probably be one of the major ones. But,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know A Cup wanted to do that with me, and. I know you get busy. It's stuff like that, but I appreciate you coming on here, taking the time, Ted.
It's always fun, Ashes.
Well,
and any fellow Californians, man, if you're listening to the podcast, just let us know if you if we missed the famous spooky folklore from California.
Yeah. I mean, I could have covered, Patty. you know, Patterson Gilman, you know, and the Bigfoot, but I didn't want to do that because, you know, just wanted to get something a little fresh.
Yeah, besides like Bigfoot is Bigfoot's in multiple states, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool just to get some of these stories that are very local to the state. Yeah. So that's cool,
That's
man.
exactly. And Halloween, maybe we'll do something special for Halloween.
Ooh.
Yes, definitely. All right, then. I appreciate it, Ted. Everybody out there watching, guys, don't forget to like the stream. Hopefully, you'll be watching. This will be a premiere. And until next time, guys, make sure you look under the bed, people. All right, peace out.